Alright guys, we're back. That was a pretty quick intercession. We have Russell on Esper Tempt and Daniel on Troll Esper. So these lists are very similar. Daniel's running 2 Snapcaster, 1 Saren's Ransom, the Trolls, and Reanimate. Russell's not doing any of that. Russell is doing the 4 Samwise, the 4 Snapcaster, and the 4 Saren's Ransom.
Now, Dan has definitely got plenty of cantrips, and against a Bowmaster deck, he's gonna try to run these out.
I mean, they're both playing Bowmaster, and they're both playing cantrips. So let's see.
Browmaster. Can we make that a thing? Actually,
Browmaster.
Can we start calling it Browmaster?
I'm down.
Okay. All right, bro. So we've got Brainstorm, Snap, Ponder, Force. So I think Daniel's gonna want to try to find some endings, swords, because he doesn't necessarily need Force of Will. At this point, what he just needs
Days. He'd be a sick days in the Bowmaster.
what he needs is removal.
So there we go. We have a fetch for a Underground Sea. Shows your hand a little bit with your first fetch, not having the white source. We're gonna ponder and hopefully hit. So we see a Force of Will, a Scrubland, and a Brainstorm. And they got a Samwise in hand. I kind of like it. I think we just take the Force.
Yeah, keep it as is. Draw.
Yeah,
That's
take the
fine.
Force.
All right.
So this sets us up for a pretty sweet turn 3 where we go Wasteland, play Samwise, get Wasteland back.
Everybody's trying to get their cantrips in.
Yeah, before they get
All right,
bro
so now
mastered.
Heck yeah.
The team of bros, you get
Alright,
the
so-
orc and the bowmaster.
so-
Bros.
Dan tries.
I really like seeing that days. That's gonna be a very good day.
I wonder if actually he wants to brainstorm first. So we'll see if Russell ends up playing.
I would
drop, which I guess you do.
I would Flooded Strand for the white source to play Samwise. And then you're either A, gonna get Samwise the Flooded Strand back, or you're just gonna hold it. Samwise to make sure that you can get the Wasteland. If you go Wasteland, Samwise, bring it back. What we're not gonna see is probably the Samwise resolving because of this daze. We're gonna see a force battle over this. We see a Baleful. That's a pretty.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
we're gonna daze the Baleful.
That's fine.
That's fine. But that does put Daniel behind on the curve, which could really matter for the Bromasters. So we have a Griefs in hand,
So
a
it's letting him untap.
Snapcaster, a Force,
That's interesting. So
Brainstorm.
and maybe I'm playing Bowmaster or Brainstorm's incorrect in a Bowmaster world.
Now Bromaster. You can't get it. It's sticking.
Because I kind of feel like if Russell just stays reactive at this point.
So here goes the Samwise line.
Yeah,
So here goes
he's
that.
gonna let it go.
So we're going to tap and play Brainstorm.
Or he just has to force, but you know.
So the Troll is a 5/6 that cannot be blocked unless it's blocked by 3 or more creatures. And it also has basic, or not
6/5.
basic, it also has Swamp Cycling for 1. It's pretty sweet. And it's right up your alley, Patrick, because it is a popper card. It is a common. It is a common from Lord of the Rings. What's the full name? Troll of what?
Khazad-dûm.
Yeah, Troll of Khazad-dûm. It's pretty sweet is what it is. So there's the Samwise that we were expecting.
So Daniel understands that we can't let the ring.
Now we're fighting over it. And now it resolves, and here comes back that Wasteland, which is massive in this matchup. Massive.
So Daniel needs a reanimate pretty badly.
Yeah, that's really bad. So now Samwise becomes the ring bearer. Now he can't be blocked by that Grief if Daniel plays Grief. So now we have some stuff going on that isn't necessarily great.
Yeah, we're in trouble. But you know what? We've seen this earlier to where Daniel has looked like he is somewhat close to out of it.
I really like Russell's odds in this because now he's holding that Bowmaster up. Gonna be able to wasteland that
Yep, Sam
C,
active.
which means he's trying to force. Are we doing it now?
Oh, don't. Yeah. So if we daze.
Yeah, he's trying to be able
Gets
to pay
his
for
C.
days. That's what he's. I think that's his
Yeah,
mindset.
but I'm just saying he is now buying
Yeah.
his underground sea. So he is picking his underground sea
Yeah.
up, and then keeps it away from wasteland.
Yeah.
But
So I really like this by Russell because now that this Bowmaster's up, it's gonna shut down cantrips that Daniel's gonna need to get back in the game. So here comes the basic island, so we can get away from this wasteland stuff.
And then we might as well go ahead and cycle out the troll. Okay.
I'm wondering why he didn't do that too, to go get the basic. So we play a flooded strand. Oh, he's just go get the basic white. He can do it all at once. So Russell's sitting on that force. Been sitting on that for a while. He's gonna swing 4.
But it is just really Russell's deck is really just blowing my mind in regards to the complete value of running this mid-range smaller creatures that are just all value, or in the Bowmaster's case, very punishing. If we top deck, Brainstorm.
So now we're showing the troll, which means more than likely surgicals are going to come in. And if Daniel wants to avoid that, he might just pitch it.
Good.
Is Murktide good though? Is he
Well,
sitting
we're
on a
about to
Baleful
grief.
Strict?
Well,
Yeah.
we're about to grief.
Grief pitch grief.
I think Daniel was hoping to maybe hard cast it, but we're past that now. We're kind of in trouble.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Daniel. This is unfortunate that that Samwise Wasteland interaction was just so strong right there. Naturally, this is just one of those matchups where that comes into play. Like, there are matchups where that Samwise Wasteland interaction just isn't that great, but then you also are just going to pivot straight into the reoccursion of your fetch. I don't hate this Murktide, but it seems a little desperate too.
Well, no. So that's all he. But I guess I would have played the grief first. So I wonder if he is just waiting to hard cast the grief next turn, and want to get that grief on.
Just go grief,
so,
and close the game off of the menace. And
I'm just worried that if Russell has
swords or ponders into a sword,
even
pretty
getting
big.
rid of the Strix, gets our Murktide going.
I mean, Russell's best case here, so he is going to pitch 4 pitch Strix.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yep, he's on the hardcast grief plan.
There's a brainstorm. He could have just brainstormed into it too. Like, he had a lot of. Russell had everything,
but continues to have everything. So that's what I'm pointing out in regards to the value engine.
Yeah,
of this deck has been so good. He has not been punished by Orc Masters. We are coming up with all
Masters.
We are coming up with all sorts of new ways to call this card. But it's
impactful, that's for sure.
But at least the matches that we've seen on stream with Russell, he continues to go.
Russell ripped on Nemo so well. His top decks and his cantrips are just crazy.
But I mean, it was like even the Soren's Ransom. I think there was one.
So Rick's, you really want to just cast that force, because if your opponent forces back, they have nothing, and then you're just kind of forcing that damage with Samwise, because Murktide can't block Samwise with the ring. So you're wanting to force their hands. So casting Strix could be good too, but then Daniel could just prismatic ending the Strix, and then you still have the Murktide because you didn't cast the force, right? And you played the Baleful, so like Maybe you still have a pitch card to that force because you drew Brainstorm, but who's to know you're going to draw another blue card? So Russell played it safe to get rid of the 8/8 Murktide, knowing that he was pitching the force. So I think that's a good play that he did.
Oh yeah, I don't like casting Strix.
And this is insane. The Sauron's Ransom can make or break this
yeah,
game.
casting Strix. If we have Bowmaster,
Ransom Tempts first off. So that's a loot when Samwise. Actually, it's a loot whenever he picks a ring bearer.
Ugh.
But there's another Sauron's Ransom and a Snapcaster. So he's either got to put like, Snap Baleful Strix up.
There's no right.
There's
answer.
no right answer.
There's
Yeah,
no right
I was
answer
thinking like Baleful Ponder and then put the other two down. But then you're gonna get it either way. You're either gonna get Snap Ponder Ransom, Ponder Ransom Baleful, or even the nuts Snap Ransoms, Ransom Snap Ransom.
It's broken. So we can throw the ring on somebody. So anyways, but to go back in regards to casting the Strix, casting Bowmaster.
Nemo, I don't think you're allowed to talk about class when you were using your phone on camera today, good sir. Love you to death, but you are killing me today. Texting on camera during an REL.
Yeah,
Love you.
Yeah.
Don't say class.
They better have been 911 texts from Jen. So I think that the idea is that because if Daniel casts a Bowmaster and pings your Strix, then your Murktide is running over.
Yeah, the Murktide's running over too.
I don't like casting.
So here we go, fetch.
I think Strix nowadays is more to pitch for Grief or to pitch for Forcible.
Is Grief even good here?
It's
he's got an Orc
his best thing of doing. Like it's all he can do right now. So
this is unfortunate for Daniel. He's playing this so well too. Like, what do you take?
Sure.
Take Snap so you don't get
whatever. Doesn't matter.
Snap ransomed, but see, rips a land here. That's Snap ransom mana, and there's the land, man.
Wow, it would be nice to just bounce Sam all day.
Listen, James, I actively will tell Nemo anything to his face. That is not new. Nemo's grown; he can handle it. Russell, I'm gonna shout out to Russell for being the biggest Chad in the top 8 right now with these rips. His top decks have been crazy all day.
I would like to shout out to James copy paste pasta though.
Oh, wow, what a brainstorm.
Oh my goodness.
Another Sam and a prismatic ending.
Oh my goodness.
Ending's not gonna do much because of the grief, but another Sam is pretty disgusting. He can tempt the ring again. And then he just needs to figure out how to cast another ring temp, and then Daniel would just lose to the 4th mode for the damage.
Yeah, loss of life.
Yeah, or can't be blocked, the block part. I'm not convinced I like 4 of them. I like 3 seems really good. Russell's also playing a Caracas, which I really like with the interaction, because resolving Samwise with Caracas is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty cute. I like the concept of this deck though. I think the ring tempting is extremely strong. I wouldn't say I'm a hater, but I'm not convinced that there needs to be 4 of them.
Would you like to bounce your Sam?
Yeah, bouncing here would be crazy with Caracas.
Modern players,
we go to 2. Oh, he allows it. Yep, that's fine.
I'm fine with that trade. Because all that means is...
yeah, we're second one.
Yep. And now the ring tempts him again.
Damn, let's go to the next game.
Yeah, it's over. Because now you make Sam the ring bearer, and Daniel has to draw exactly Sam removal, or Sam swings because it can't be blocked.
I do want to make a comment, though, that this is Legacy. This is not sealed or draft.
With all the Lord of the Rings.
Oh my goodness.
That Sauron Ransom is so sweet.
We got one side playing Troll of Khazad-dûm. We got one side playing Sam. And they're in the top 4 of a Legacy 1K.
I think my favorite reaction today was geosurgical and Colton playing Hive Mind
Oh
and
yeah.
trying to read his cards in his deck and
Yeah.
going, "What are you playing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I did talk to Gio after that match, and I was mentioning to him, we were trying to talk about how you really kind of sideboard or how you kind of play it, but mostly you just hope you dodge a deck like Hive Mind in a 1K. You're not expecting to play against it.
So what do we think Russell's bringing in here? I stepped out to grab a drink.
So I think that we are all on the removal plan. It really is going to be just a slugfest and try to get rid of each other's creatures a little bit quicker.
Daniel's over here scratching his head like, what do I do about this?
So I think hopefully he scams a little quickly is what I kind of hope for.
Then you're just open to swords.
Well, but in the setting of, he's on the play, he's a Daze deck.
No, we're in agreement with this. I think all those things are true. I just think the fact that Russell has this gross interaction between Samwise and Wasteland that Daniel's deck just kind of folded to just now. And that's an interesting conversation we had earlier about me speaking about Sam, where that's not always going to come up, right?
Yeah.
You have the 4-color decks like where they can just fetch basics early and your Wasteland shut off and you don't get a lot of value out of your Sam. Unless you're just having a fetch and then Sam fetching to like get a fetch back. And there's all like small things like that. But Legacy's also seeing some super greedy mana bases.
So Sam, gee, Minnie's Christmas.
Russell.
The gentleman playing Samwise is citing out his Force of Wills. He is on the draw.
I think he's just trying to slam.
I think that's okay. So like I said, Slugfest, not necessarily leaning on more of your removal and applying pressure.
I wonder if Russell brought in. Did you see if he brought in surgicals?
I didn't.
He is playing 2 surgicals in his sideboard from the last time I looked at his deck list. I kind of like surgical.
Oh, definitely if you're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
Scam and Reanimate.
Yeah.
Surgicals are definitely good. Even from the standpoint if if we force a swords and we're surgically swords, that also feels really good.
I will say the deck that Daniel's playing with the troll idea is definitely the coolest deck to me in the top 8. I have Russell's deck is super sweet with the Ring Tempt combo, but when I first seen what Daniel's doing with this stupid troll, I was just so on board. It's so cool.
I'm still, like I said, I'm still reeling in regards to really trying to wrap my head around Russell's deck.
It's sweet though,
and the value of it. Because
there's so
really,
much.
It's dizzying.
So much value.
It's dizzying.
Having Snapcaster come back.
Look at this hand.
It's pretty nasty.
Wasteland, 2 fetches, Baleful Strix,
swords,
Ponder, swords. I mean,
yeah, it has Swamp Cycling for 1s.
As steep as you get.
Yeah, Swamp Cycling for 1, so it's insane. But Russell's deck is also crazy where he's playing 4 Saurum's Ransom. Daniel's deck list, when I looked, only had 1 Saurum's Ransom because he was trying to fit in the scam combo. Because Daniel's list is a little more tight on the numbers, whereas Russell's can be a little more loose. If he was to pivot off the Samwise plan, like take down to 2 Samwise, down to 3 Sauron Ransom, it gives you 3 slots. But he's not. He's on the 4/4 plan. And I don't dislike that. If I was to play the Samwise deck, I'm not sure I could settle on 4. But I do like how disgusting Russell's deck punishes greedy mana bases, which is what he's been doing all day.
So Russell's about to play a Ponder, which against a grief deck, I guess I should say, I like the idea of keeping open swords at this point.
Yep, especially since Daniel didn't immediately go for it.
But Russell's been dominating with this deck all day, so I don't know if that's
so. Gert, having played Russell in Modern, that's not how he plays Modern. So I think he just does certain little habits from match to match, because I've played him a lot, especially when he plays Rhinos, and he'll mix up what's in his hand when you thought sees. I wouldn't say Russell's overly calculated, but he does make minor decisions. I really enjoy Russell as a player. I like sitting across from him. We have really good games.
All right, so
Daniel's gonna fetch.
fine.
I believe he's gonna get basic island. Just so that he can make sure he casts these cantrips when he needs to if he gets wastelanded. Now he's paranoid of wasteland, which he should be, because that Samwise Wasteland interaction just ripped him limb from limb match one.
Yeah, I think he's just putting.
So
out
now we're gonna cast up
Strix.
Strix. Lets it resolve. Draws a Bowmaster, which is just straight gas. So we're gonna probably wasteland the Underground Sea and leave open swords. Or leave open swords. Makes sense. We have 2 swords too, which is pretty huge. So we draw basic swamp. I really like that with the marsh flats in hand, because that means we can just go get basic plains.
Yeah.
So Daniel pivoted away from the greedy opening with the tundras and seas, and is really pulling it together. Which is kind of what hurt him early in game 1, was just not having the mana sources he needed when he needed them. So Russell's fetching with the Delta and getting
Oh, I hope we're not playing a Strix.
basic swamp. I mean, I'm not...
No. So
You're waiting for the
You
Bowmaster line, yeah.
honestly, so Daniel at that point was okay to cast Strix. This is not
Yeah.
when we. So in response to the trigger,
Yeah.
this is just Strix to me is only in a Bowmaster world only to pitch to Grief or Force. I'm off it.
You're gonna
I'm
have to
off
give
it.
Russell some adjusting, because
Oh
you're
no!
you're
Like,
all on a
I think-
timeline where we're getting used to that.
Yeah,
So I'm with you.
But the idea of leaving white, he has 2 swords to plowshares. Who cares about Dan's Strix
Correct.
right now?
Correct.
Right now,
Correct.
and we save
Or
it for
what you could have done was casted the following turn with another land and kept the swords up too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he would have been fetching for something other than swamp at that point.
Maybe.
So, yeah. No,
Maybe.
like to have swords and
Correct.
swords.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
So here's Samwise.
Wow. Gee,
What is Samwise gonna do on the board state though? So we could flash block the orc. Maybe play a fetch, pass, swing, flash block the orc, have the ring tempt you, bring back the flooded strand, like fetch and response.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you get, you ramp the lands and kill the orc. Then it leaves a Bowmaster on the board and you use your own Bowmaster to kill it. I mean, it gives some options. Or do we just play the land and play Saren's Ransom? Because there's a lot of things that you could do here with Saren's Ransom where you're putting, like, questionable things in your graveyard, right? Like, if he doesn't take a Prismatic Ending and then now he has Snapcaster in hand that Daniel doesn't know about, right? So that Saren's Ransom revealing a Prismatic Ending could be really big.
Now, Daniel definitely kept in Dazes being on the play. Russell probably doesn't want to play into Daze quite yet.
These brainstorms feel really dead, too. Daniel doesn't want to get blown out by a Bowmaster back.
Sure,
So now, here's where you would Bowmaster. You'd come in, you'd ping the Strix, and you'd block the Orcish Bowmaster with the your Orc, and then take 2. This is going to show that Russell doesn't have a Bowmaster, and Daniel should be able to freely play his Brainstorms. Which could be pretty game-changing here. Daniel's in a pretty good spot going first. He's kept a board state and just going with it. Here comes Samwise. Daniel's probably going to brainstorm in response to Samwise, or let it resolve. So here's the brainstorm. He doesn't want to deal with him ramping with the fetch, which makes sense. Now we're going to Swords to Bowmaster. I don't hate fetching and brainstorming again, only because we have 2 fetches in play.
I think that's fine.
Not saying it's the play, but I don't hate it.
I want to keep Brainstorm for later.
Really comes down to management. That is an insane surgical.
Wow.
We appreciate it. We're filling in for Zach and Michelle. But that doesn't mean that we can't do Legacy in the future if Chase deems so at TCS Rockets.
Yeah.
We've had a blast today.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun today, but we appreciate that. But yeah, we're not regulars when it comes to commentary.
We usually are playing.
I mean, we will commentate freely,
freely
while we're playing, even if the player wants to hear it or not.
Including each other.
Uh-huh.
So here the ring tempts us. We get back the fetch.
Well, hold on. We trigger.
No, yeah, he already triggered. He resolved it.
Oh, he let
it resolve.
Okay.
And now we're blocking the orc. I really like that play. It was such a good play. Now he takes the one from the Strix. Now the question is, what does Daniel do here? He has a reanimate and a grief in hand. So grief pitching surgical.
Like Samwise.
I don't hate pitching the surgical here, only because we're double griefing. Yes, the full deck list will be posted. I'm not exactly sure at the speed that they will be posted. Chase, the one of the owners at TCS Rockets, is on vacation, but they will be posted.
Yep, and we are reanimating. And I'll tell you what, the Snapcaster reanimate is gross. Wait, what? Okay, there it is. Okay, good. So, yeah. So, Grief is going to trigger again. And so we took Ransom. Yeah. Okay. So, we should be at 16. Russell's still at 10. Swords 100%. And I think by this moment...
Do we let that happen knowing we have a brainstorm in hand, or do we fetch for basic island?
He's got orc mana up, so we're not brainstorming.
Okay, that's a fair point.
I feel like
I just feel like
okay,
protecting that grief is pretty important.
The idea of next turn having Snapcaster is going to be...
What are we snapping?
Reanimate.
What's in the grave, though? Yeah.
Well, we can't take the Samwise. So...
Yeah, we could do that and take the ring back. So we could go like fetch, reanimate, Samwise, get our fetch back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Baleful's... That's a loose Baleful Strix.
Okay.
Draw Swords, that's huge.
Yeah, the Baleful Strix in the blind is...
It's very risky.
We're learning
yeah,
with Orcish Bowmasters, you know, and I still don't know what is right. And
now we're upkeep fetching.
Even though if I mention that I don't like that play, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I'm still learning on really how to play in a Bowmaster world. And
I personally am not a Baleful Strix player. Never really got behind it. The decks that played Baleful Strix weren't decks that I usually found myself wanting to play. Yeah. So I can't really give a whole lot of insight on that, but I do see where you're coming from. There's another reanimate, there's a daze, there's a surgical.
Oh my gosh. Cycling Troll, Snapcaster reanimates, reanimating Troll. Oh my goodness. With daze back. Okay. Alright, so he wants to keep surgical.
Disgusting. I think we're surgicaling swords here. I kind of get where you're coming from, where you put it in your deck and you have to play it, but I think you have to figure out when it's appropriate to play it and when it's not. And sometimes it's just risky to have to feel like you have to do something. Because you could just get super punished with a Bowmaster. Ping that, ping your life, make a 2/2, and all you did was try to have a blocker. So like it went from blocking a little bit less to just getting rolled over by it.
Okay.
So if I'm Daniel, I'm firing off this surgical on those swords.
Yeah, I like that.
I wonder what Daniel's holding that surgical for. Daniel's an intelligent player, so he's definitely holding that for a good reason. I'm not sure what he's wanting to hit with
I think that when he's ready to reanimate his next spell, I think he is surgicaling prior to. But I think
I feel like the setup to do it is now, right now that Brainstorm's resolved. Because then you get full knowledge what's in their hand when you move to turn, and
he's going to next turn no matter what. I think that's going to happen. The problem is...
It's such a sick play, though.
We have Snapcaster. So Russell has Snapcaster that he can...
So he upkeep fetched again.
He can... snap in response. Luckily, we have days.
So, snapping in response does what? Because he has
Cast the target. So if we go to surgical the swords, he will be able to snap caster
to target the, and he has enough.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have enough if Daniel has days. So two mana, and then
but we are still casting,
attempting to do it.
And fine, it gets countered, but you're not taking the swords in my hand. Right.
Well, you snap in response. Because when it goes on the stack, is it removed from the graveyard?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. You lose the target because it's on the stack, even if it gets countered.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Wow. Okay. So
I would have definitely done it when he was tapped with just the fetch. But again, maybe he's not trying to surgical the swords. Maybe he's trying to surgical something else.
I wonder if he wants Sam. You know, like
Yeah, I mean,
oh, that's a good.
Daniel's a super smart player, so he might also just be holding it for some form of interaction other than swords. So here comes the ransom. That's really gross.
So he also, though, understands that Russell's at 8, I'm at 16. I don't mind going 1-for-1 Strixing right now. So he's probably like, I'll play a land pass turn. I'll play a land pass a turn. You have to do something to stop the fact that I am winning this race.
So here we go with the ring tempt part. Now Russell loots with that baleful
please
Strix.
show him Orc. Please show him Orc and bottom put 2 underneath. Okay, interesting. He's definitely taking Orc and land. Like, that's just... But if you show him Orc and 3 lands, I wonder what he does.
I don't hate this by Daniel. I expect here goes snap.
So
and here goes Are we snap reanimating here?
I really wish we would have kept that troll. But that's me personally.
Troll's he has a troll still in his hand, right?
No. I thought he
Oh, we're casting Brainstorm. I don't hate that, because before the Bowmaster can come out. Brainstorm, fetch. Oh, that Bowmaster is sick. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, we're playing this pretty conservatively, which is fine.
I'm a little confused why we didn't leave up the white source and cast the Brainstorm we drew. Just because of swords.
Yeah, not letting Russell untap. So going back to the Brainstorm in the face of Bowmaster.
I feel that, but I also feel baiting it out and getting in a counter war over swords feels beneficial for Daniel.
I think he, with just days in hand, I think he says, I lose that war. Because Russell's got plenty of mana open, he brainstorms.
Yeah, more options to draw force.
Yeah. But Russell did take out forces.
So now we're going to play the Bowmaster, and we're more than likely going to ping the Strix.
Actually, I think I leave Strix.
For what?
I don't mind Strix right now.
Yeah, but you get rid of Strix, and now Snapcaster can't block the Baleful.
I don't care. I guess I don't care about that. I don't mind.
I just don't. I think if I'm Russell, I want to get rid of the Baleful because of the Death Touch. It could be relevant for the Orc, right?
Sure.
Could be relevant for the Bowmaster. Snapcaster's really not doing much in...
Ooh, Wasteland.
I mean, Wasteland's fine.
Well, yeah.
Daniel has a Fetch and a Tundra on top. He's fine. So this is going to be a really, really, really sweet turn for Daniel with this Bowmaster. So there goes the white source, but little does Russell know, Daniel has 2 lands on the top of his deck, a Tundra and a Fetch. That is a super sweet ponder for him. We see Samwise, Brainstorm, Scrubland. I'm not convinced I like this ponder. I don't know in this board state if we would shuffle that or not. Samwise is pretty sweet because you'll get the third mode on the ring, which is the block and get rid of. But you also get the part where you're almost to the fourth part of the ring where you swing and deal combat damage and deal 3 more damage. So he kept it on there and kept the Brainstorm. Daniel's going to untap and draw. I think he put Tundra or Flooded. I think it's Tundra. Nope, it's Flooded. So he put Flooded on top, which is fine. He's a 14. Pretty healthy life total, considering Russell's at 7. Now he has to really think about how he wants to play this matchup. Does he want to play the fetch and fetch a white source to have swords, and then play the Bowmaster, ping the Bowmaster?
I really think and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we surgical swords here.
Yes.
I think we play Orc, we ping Orc.
And keep our own white source up for our swords. I like that play a lot. I wanted the swords to be fired off.
We need to get rid of swords.
Yeah.
But I think that Daniel's also just being mindful of the fact that Samwise is a great engine for what Russell's deck wants to do, and he may want to wait on possibly surgicaling Sam, or Sam's trigger for that matter. But
people are really upset with Bowmaster and Legacy, but it makes me feel pretty happy to see Esper being able to compete against. It hasn't had a
range.
Esper mid-range for a while, and neither is Grixis. And Grixis, we have a Grixis Delver in the top 8. That's pretty sweet too with Geo.
Yeah, but I'm also just genuinely confused as to what the right plays are in these types of, when we're talking about Tempt,
Yeah.
Like when we're talking about Brainstorm.
Russell told me before the top
timing.
8, this is one of the hardest decks he's had to play because he has to think about the cantrip mechanics, and he's usually not played decks that really have to focus on what you're keeping the cantrips. And I have to agree with Russell, playing cantrip decks can be pretty hard at first, and some of the decisions you make feel like they're right, and then you get very punished for them. So here goes the Bowmaster now.
Shoot. So we'll see what. Daniel has days.
Yeah, Daniel's
so
fading
he's
with days.
actually somewhat okay for the swords at this point during this turn. Now, if we end up with Russell playing swords next turn, then that's a problem. Wow.
That's a really big reanimate. What's in the grades? Grief still in there? No, Grief got swords.
You almost want to maybe swing him with Snapcaster at this point.
Yeah, to force the block, because he puts him to 5.
We could reanimate Snap next turn.
Yeah.
I like swinging.
Yeah, and then reanimate for the Brainstorm.
Yeah, we swing with Snap. Ooh, okay.
I don't hate that.
Well, I know that
Russell's not seeing the reanimate line. It's a little deep in the game to see the reanimate Snapcaster line. There's a lot of things that are gonna happen with that at once that are just crazy. So now we're gonna try to swords the Bowmaster. Oddly enough, I think Daniel is fine with that.
Well, he definitely is fine with swordsing the Orcish Bowmaster because he could have at any time surgical out swords. So we know that is not something like Daniel's not the type of player that's like, oh, I should have surgical.
No,
swords,
he knew that was coming,
so
or had the risk.
And if it did come, then fine.
Yeah,
I think that he's just trying to outvalue a value deck that Esper Tempt is. But
I mean, he's piloting this pretty decently. Like he's showing a lot of resiliency with the way that game 1 started. He's powered through this game 2 quite well. Straight from the start, he's just had constant pressure.
So Russell keeps throwing away lands.
What's he supposed to grab with him though?
Well, the thing is that you start to get bottlenecked with the fact that now I've got 4 cards that I need to be playing multiple
spells a turn. Okay,
and so I'm keeping that land last turn. yeah, you hate dropping that other brainstorm, but feel like we needed that extra land, especially against the Daze deck too. So I kind of like the idea of actually dropping the brainstorm, and since you had 2 of them, and making a land drop. But I'm not sure.
So here comes another Baleful Strix from Russell, I'm expecting, with that fetch. Tells me that because he drew a Baleful. Either that or he is just wanting that shuffled away.
Look at that.
For the Samwise fetch. So he's
Players outvaluing each other. Like they are trying to outvalue.
So there goes another Strix, which,
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
But like I said, I could be wrong in regards to the idea of playing Strixes out in a... Okay, so there's the land. So he was able to hit the land off Strix. Which is what he needed.
Shout out to TC Rockets, who's been waiting to share that TCG link the entire time for the cost of this troll.
So we've got, what is that? Delta Dress Down Force of Will. So I like Force of Will.
What's Dress Down gonna do right here? The Snapcaster?
Yeah, I think.
But he only has 1 mana.
If anything, it's going to help us draw.
Daniel having Force of Will is massive here.
So we reanimate Snap.
We Snap Pondering or Snap Is Daniel played a Prismatic inning yet? He is not.
He could Strix, but
I think Snap Reanimate Samwise is coming.
I like that. Or if we're just strixing the board to death. I think that's what they're trying to grind out the draw.
I'm not sure I like that, because it's whoever hits a Bowmaster first can just ping the board and win.
Right, yeah.
I was really behind Daniel just surgicling the swords and just screaming the troll.
Whoa, Containment Priest. I just saw a Containment Priest in
Yeah.
Russell's deck. I love that.
That's from the sideboard. The Containment Priest is from the sideboard, probably for the reanimate lines. So here goes a Brainstorm.
Definitely for the reanimate line.
Yeah, for the troll and the grief.
So
I wonder, we daze here. We 100% daze here.
Yeah,
we pick that
because
island up.
I think that we don't need to brainstorm here, because we don't have Force of Will in deck.
Nope.
But it's okay.
I'm okay dazing this. So he's letting it go?
We love Russell. We're not.
He's letting it go. I think I would have snapped that daze off quick.
Yeah, that
would have been a very good daze.
Actually, no, it's gonna get pitched to Force. So I think
Is it though?
I think he's actually he's saving it to pitch to Force. Yeah. To where next turn when Russell untaps.
Well, because I'm not convinced you want to do that when you know you have a Snapcaster that's coming back with that Ponder, right? Reanimate's still on the line, still on the stack, targeting. I'm assuming Snapcaster for Ponder. So I'm right there. I'm immediately just gonna fire off that daze to make sure I'm protected, so Russell can't have more cards in hand. Because Daniel doesn't know that Russell sided out his forces. So I'm gonna play like forces are still in your deck, and if you're drawing a Brainstorm, because like at that point, right? If I daze you and you have 2 cards in hand and then you force back, that's both the cards in your hand. Russell can't daze back when Daniel has the planes that he can pay and still snap Ponder.
We're recasting Reanimate.
So that's what I'm saying. I think I would have fired off the daze.
Orc. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad. And then we're going up to 2. Fine. Excellent. We're swinging 3. Yeah, Russell's in trouble. And then we have Force of Will up.
So I think you just don't let them dig Patrick for the answer, and then you force them, if they have the hard answer, to empty their entire hand. Because you're winning either way. So if he does have Force in hand and blue card, that's his whole hand that he has to give up, and Daniel can just capitalize off of that. Daniel just gets a little bit of value out of having Snapcaster on board with the Ponder, but he would have a lot more value if Russell had literally no cards to go on that Snapcaster.
Yeah,
so I like the days for that reason. I also like the days of denying him looking at cards so he knows how his following turns are coming.
Oh wow, it's getting forced.
I mean, that's a
kind of-
good force.
Yeah, I kind of like the swords on it. But
No, you don't
any
want
other
the
creature...
ping. You don't want the ping on your bowmaster. Now he shuts off the other
Yeah,
cantrip
but
on the other
Russell's
side.
at 2. I'm kind of like, I'm swinging in for lethal next turn, no matter what. The sword's on a 1 mana cost creature, or a 1 tough.
Ooh, that's a sick dress down. This game's definitely in Daniel's favor. It should be over. Dress down should solidify that pretty bad. So we're gonna see a flash of Snapcaster and a flash of Samwise.
All right, so you go to 3, and I'm gonna swing in for lethal.
It's not gonna be lethal anymore with Russell's hand. Russell has the ability to play Samwise and Snapcaster right now to flash block. So more than likely, we're gonna see flash block the Bowmaster and flash block the Orc.
Oh man. Oh, I wonder if Daniel needed to dress down before the swords.
I kind of agree with that.
Think maybe we dress down before swords.
So here comes Surgical targeting the swords.
Okay. Okay.
Here comes Samwise.
No,
No, he's showing
he's
Samwise for the
yeah.
Surgical.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. I am loving the thought processes on these plays by both of these
Yeah,
players,
big
which
brain
is
plays.
why I wanted to see this match.
It's been a
in
sick
the top
match.
4.
Both these games have been really good.
Because we're learning. These are format warping cards that are being used in different shells. That, the obvious Grixis. But now the idea of is Ring
So
Tempt,
now
is
now
Ring
Russell
Tempt-
goes to
Nah,
1
yeah, we're
and
not.
has no cards.
Yeah, we're super dumb.
There's a Sarn.
We're
Was that a
super
Sarn
dumb.
ransom?
Maybe. Nope. Okay. Yeah, we did. It's funny how a Soren's Ransom actually would get you back into the game, potentially.
I mean, you're at 1. I'm not sure what you draw there that matters.
Yeah.
Another Bowmaster.
You don't have any swords left.
right? Can Daniel hide the Bowmaster? And, like, that's pretty much all Russell's going to look for right there. To play it in, kill one of the Strixes, and then have an army and to block the other Bowmaster. But you're at 1. Daniel had a really controlling lead on that game. Also, Russell didn't know that Daniel had a sword, so whatever creature he drew, Daniel just swords it and still kill him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Russell for typing his deck list, at least for the main board. Everybody appreciates
you know what?
typed deck lists.
I'm sold on my 60, not sold on my sideboard. That will be the drive over to the tournament when I'm writing that in.
Oh. Russell's quite the player, too. He almost top 8'd the Vegas modern tournament with the beta box. And then you got Daniel over here, who was a super Chad that got second in the Summit for the win the Black Lotus. So he almost won a Black Lotus at Summit for the drafts that he did.
That was super cool.
They're both very good players. Don't need to prove anything, that's for
Yeah.
sure. They let their game
Makes you
talk for them.
now.
I do want to
They
talk
may
to
need-
Daniel and ask about the surgical
Haircut?
play. No,
Oh,
not the
surgical.
haircut. You're such a troll. Ask Daniel
Sorry.
about a haircut.
I'm scheduling a haircut for Daniel. After
No,
this
I
tournament is
wanna.
over.
I really want to know Daniel's thought process with not just screaming that surgical at the swords.
You know what though? It is really like I said, the value and he really wanted to hold off snap. Like maybe he was like, no, Soren's Ransom. If he is trying to snap a ransom,
Do we feel like he
Like-
was wanting ransom or bowmaster? Because all the bowmasters
Yeah.
he got rid of.
I guess it really just depended on the board state and what he had in hand to when it really mattered.
No.
Oh, this is a pretty boring start. We got a Tundra and a Polluted Delta Mirror.
Wow,
What an opener.
it's like back to the Sensei's divoting top days.
Stop it. Rest in peace, Sensei's top. Rest in peace. No,
Don't you ever come back.
No counterbalance days for you. You know, looking up, I'm glad that hasn't fallen and hit me yet. So Russell, I really wonder, is thinking
Alright,
really
so
hard if he's
this
going to
is-
cast this brainstorm.
No way. No way. I mean,
I like it.
I don't.
I mean, I don't like
Yeah,
it.
no, I don't either.
I don't.
It is just. Now, I don't know if we have Plague Engineer over here in Daniel's.
Daniel does have Plague
Rip.
Engineer. He has a 1-up Plague Engineer.
Yeah, but I think that's actually.
Poor Andrew Lee earlier
surgical,
was met with Plague
ransom,
Engineer.
Right. So, I think Daniel doesn't want to brainstorm until he lands the Plague Engineer.
Yo, laughing at Daniel, right? If he wins this, he can afford a haircut here in San Diego, right?
Well,
He has
maybe.
the money to afford one.
Not with the tip.
To shout out San Diego.
All right, so we.
I like this brainstorm in the face of the Strix.
Okay, so
I like it.
Again, I really want to talk about why are we playing Strix here?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to learn
I don't know.
because I really and I
So-
think
so
it has to do with the
Russell-
fact that they try to outvalue each other.
So Russell, in
Game
my
2.
opinion, with where his hand is now, has the swords. So if you're going to commit that Bowmaster to killing my Baleful Strix, I'm going to sword your Bowmaster, and then we're gonna get in a fight over it, right?
But now we got Orc Army.
I mean, this Orc Army,
But still, I'm just
it's
saying.
off the board, right? Because then I can cast my Brainstorm
The
next turn
UTB
unless you have another or Bowmaster.
I know, but still, the Orc Army in the setting of a Skulk effect with Tempted Rain.
I'm with you.
Like
It's
it's
puke.
it's really I'm just trying to understand this.
The only thing I can gather from this is Russell trying to force the Bowmaster out. Right? He'd rather force it out on that Strix or cast a Brainstorm in response to a Bowmaster on the stack.
No.
Right? So there's a few things that Russell could do there, right? Plays the Strix, Dana flashes in a Bowmaster. Russell brainstorms in response, hits a force, forces the Bowmaster.
Look at this.
Right?
Look at this. We are jamming Strixes in an Orc meta. Oh, all right. So we got the Plague Engineer. So he doesn't even play Plague Engineer.
He doesn't want
I
David.
am really but we got Force of Will. Actually, is
Force pitching Brainstorm or Saren's Ransom is kind of rough there when he only plays one of Saren's Ransom.
wow.
Daniel's just playing super conservative. I gotta give it to him. It's really patient, and it paid off last match.
But I feel like I'm either Plague Engineer or I'm reactive, and I'm not playing Strix.
This deck just requires patience that we don't have.
I don't know. It might be intellect. I have infinite patience. I just am trying to understand. Because now, by playing the Strix, we allow Russell to play Brainstorm next turn.
We do. You're right.
I don't like that. And so that's just
or do we ask Russell to play Brainstorm and then we Bowmaster?
No, I don't
make a
care.
4/4.
Polluted Delta in play with a Brainstorm is
Too much value.
just the best thing.
It's a lot of value. I agree with you because then it fetches away.
Brainstorm and a fetch land is the best thing in life, and so, well,
The
I'm gonna
best thing
say
in Legacy.
not
Whoa,
in
Scott.
Legacy.
Whoa, you're out of line.
Yeah,
Wow, out of
always.
line.
All right, so why?
Krakus is always super sweet. I like this
But
for this
why
damn wise nonsense.
I know, but why Crocus now?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Maybe he's just playing the way he feels like he has to play his hand. So we ping the Strix. Now Daniel really has to decide what's going on here. He really has to figure out where is my moment to come back.
So here's
into
the thing.
this.
So we Plague Engineer. He Russell swords Plague Engineer. We have Force backed up. Granted, I guess we have Flusterstorm on Russell's side, so Russell burns up Flusterstorm. So okay, we get rid of Orc now, but still, I feel like damage is,
Already been done.
but it may not, because now we end up with
not being able to
still
play our
force in
own.
hand.
Now we can't play our own Bowmaster.
we can. It's unilateral. It's
Yeah,
unilateral.
but we open ourselves up to the swords because it's not if he doesn't fire it off on this Plague Engineer. So we open ourselves up to removal playing our own. So like now this shows. So if Daniel had a Bowmaster, wouldn't it just be better to Bowmaster there? Come in, ping the Bowmaster, make your own orc, and then have the orcs in the field. So it kind of shows that like he doesn't have one.
No, actually, because I think that he doesn't want to get in a tit for tat type of gameplay. I think Plague Engineer puts it to bed as long as you keep it safe. Is my thought. So you keep Plague Engineer safe. We don't do the tit for tat anymore.
I mean, we'll see how Daniel feels about that because he's been very patient with this. Because like right here, when Russell's tapped and can't cast Samwise on that orc, I'm surgicaling orcs right now.
Interestingly enough, we do have, I think, Murktide in hand, and so he may let this swords go on Plague Engineer. All right, so Russell has just told Daniel that he has swords in hand.
Or he told
No,
him he has
swords.
Samwise.
No, he has swords.
Or
He
Prismatic.
told me he has swords.
Now it looks like Siren's Ransom.
Now he's telling him he has Ransom also in hand.
Yeah, but he tapped the Tundra instead
You know
of
what?
the
I'm
island.
sorry, guys. Let me apologize to Daniel and
So he
Russell right now.
tapped. So he
I
tapped
think I'm
the
getting
island.
tired. I think my blood sugar is dropping. I've got a headache.
Look, these guys have been playing all day too, so I'm
And-
sure they're tired.
And I think that they're probably also feeling that game 3 has been a little bit more
Yeah.
loose. You know, we're not playing it quite as tight and a little scared. All right, so we told him we have Ransom. We show him the swords. He wants to...
Oh, the Wasteland. I forgot about Wasteland. So here comes the
Well,
Ransom.
He wants to play around days. Okay, fine. Yeah, you got to keep Flusterstorm open. So using Wasteland... Oh, okay.
I think I'm hitting the Black Source 2 to make him go fetch the basic black. Because if we draw another Wasteland, we're keeping him up a color.
I like Ransom there with Flusterstorm backed up.
Do we need Ransom?
Yeah.
I don't think we need Ransom in this.
But it carries along the idea of, because Russell's he's playing Strix for value. I am applying pressure and I'm drawing a card off. I want my swords Ransom.
Hear me out. So he knows Daniel is playing Surgical. If he tapped out for Ransom there and played Fluster, if Daniel did fire back, he doesn't have anything for that Surgical, and whatever gets put in the graveyard off the Ransom goes into the graveyard. So whatever Daniel's waiting for this Surgical, like I feel like that's what he's waiting for. It gets rid of it.
I don't think I'm playing around Surgical at this point.
I feel like he's been playing around it the entire game.
I don't think he is. I think he's conservatively moving through and going back into the idea of...
Shout out Bring Stifle to the format, please.
Yeah.
Some deck make it good again. It's
Because
in Hive Mind, but come on, Stifle.
I do feel like Russell needs to get to his engines, because the way that he beats Daniel's deck.
So we seen a moment last game where Daniel could have surgical. Ooh, there's another Ransom. Surgical Salmon didn't. So here's the Ransom. What are we tapping?
Russell needs multiple creatures out.
We're casting our own Ransom in response.
All right, okay.
I'm-
Now we got Flusterstorm going.
What are we flustering?
This Force of Will that's upcoming. Oh no, okay. He's letting it go. And we're about to Surgical. So now we Flusterstorm the Surgical.
Oh my goodness, Containment Priest. Prismatic Inning.
I guess we do not want him to get Lantern. So Daniel does not want Russell to get Lantern. He's okay with ending. So the question is what do you show him? I think you don't show him
I think we show him
Lantern.
ending in Ponder. You also don't want him to have Containment Priest, because then you lose your reanimate targets too.
Yeah, but
You just give them both in
at
one,
this
so you
point-
lose them both if he picks the other.
so
I think you give him
showing
Ponder. I think you give him
ending?
Ponder and Prismatic Inning. Ooh.
Oh no. See, again, I'm learning. I say oh no in response to that, but is that right? Because we have Murktide in hand. Oh, does Russell look at that and then decide? Wow.
That was like no weight. There was no weight in
He
that.
wanted to ponder.
He did.
But he had Brainstorm in hand.
So this is still Brainstorm in response to the
Modern players, your
Siren's Ransom.
So Russell knows
Russell
he's
hit
on...
surgical, so this is a big surgical for Russell. Russell can hit Daniel's... no, because the Bowmaster got swords. So there's no Bowmaster in the grave.
And really, he's got Containment Priest. So I'm really confused on... So Russell knows that Daniel has Murktides. He knows that he has Reanimators. Soul Guide Lantern cleans out the graveyard.
So when you have a Strix and your opponent plays a Bowmaster and you play a Brainstorm in response, what happens when they counter your Brainstorm and you lose your Strix and now you have a 1/1 and a 1/1 looking at you? It's like that's the whole thing that's pretty rough with Bowmaster and the Strix argument. And this is a huge Flusterstorm.
Yeah.
Because now he can surgical, but I think he knows Daniel's decklist only runs one Siren's Ransom. Yes, Ian, the surgical or the Siren's Ransom is such a sweet card. It's one of my favorite cards that came out of the set. It's very, very cool. It's just interesting that Russell isn't running Murktide at all because he's on the 4 Sam route, while Daniel's running Murktides because of the ransom, and he's only on 1 ransom. So Russell's casting surgical. We're gonna
On the fetch.
on the fetch.
Holy smokes.
Daniel forces it.
Because what were we targeting? Oh, I wonder what he targeted.
I don't think it was the fetch.
Well, no, but Oh.
That is a disgusting sanctuary for Siren's Ransom.
It didn't matter. Even if Russell were to keep that surgical.
Why does he not have... Okay, I'm about
Wait.
to say, why do we not have a trigger? Now we have a trigger.
All right, now Russell's
Okay.
like... Okay.
We still left the white open for your swords. I like that a lot. Here comes the 4 cards with the Siren's Ransom, and let's see what Daniel's options are.
Russell's having an issue picking up.
Yeah,
the
he doesn't want to reveal the cards. So it looks like Strix, Brainstorm, Ponder, Fetch. And that's pretty bad either way you stack that for Daniel. Daniel's going to get value out of it when you're completely tapped. There's no point in you to cast a Bowmaster if you had it. You could just give him like Brainstorm, Fetch up. I would probably take that. But there's no right or wrong stack and no right or wrong answer for these stacks. They're no good the way you put it. Either way, he's getting one of those cantrips and the fetch. I would like to see Ponder in the fetch and the other 2 down. That way, if he takes... Yeah, that's exactly how I would have liked to stack
down,
it.
But he takes the face
That's
down
fine.
cards.
That's fine, because you lose the fetch. I like the way that Russell stacked that. That's exactly how I would have stacked it. And I also agree with Daniel taking that.
Wow.
So here's the thing with Daniel taking that, right? He hasn't played a land yet. He has a fetchable source. Ooh, he's surgicaling. What are we surgicaling?
What the heck? Oh, his own ring. Okay, perfect.
What are we surgicaling?
So Soren's Ransom should be in the graveyard.
I think he's surgicaling the swords. Yep. So now we're going to slam this Murktide. I really like this. This is a very huge play from Daniel.
That's a great line. Didn't see that. So
I was looking at it.
So Daniel, but the thing is that Daniel was like, I don't care.
No,
I'm taking what has the land.
Correct. I was looking at this, and
Because
I think
I'm
Daniel...
about to surgical.
Correct. So I think Daniel... So here's Daniel's thought process with this, I believe. So if I surgical this for life, right, and you counter my surgical, that tells me something else is in your hand. Then I get to play Ponder and keep the swords up. Now I don't have to worry about it at all. I'm going to fetch this basic island, and I'm going to slam this huge Murktide. Now I'm going to come to turn the following turn and swords the Baleful Strix.
Yeah, Strix is super
Knowing
bad.
that it's just Ponder and Containment Priest, this is going to give Russell a few options to try to figure out how to handle the Murktide with, like, he has to like maybe another Baleful Strix, right? Got to have something to prevent being swung at. Because that Baleful Strix... Russell doesn't know this, but that Baleful Strix has a higher opportunity either getting Prismatic Ending or Swords. Right? So you need to at least have a second one to fiend off this Murktide, which... 1, 2...
Oh, it's definitely going to be
three,
5.
four.
It 100% is going to be 5 instants or sorceries.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Leaves the Sauron's Ransom for Snap. I don't hate it.
No,
He
I
has the
thought-
mana to do it.
I thought, oh, he may want the surgical. No.
I'll put it out. He said, nope, I want
No,
all 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean,
But-
I'm fine. I'm fine with it being
yeah.
a 7/7 and leaving Sauron's Ransom because you top deck one of your Snapcasters. Snap Sauron's is disgusting.
All right, so we fire off Ponder. Unless we want to fetch first.
We don't know what our top card
Do
is.
you know if remind me is
Wasteland, Sauron's Ransom, Plains. So this could make or break Russell. If Russell leaves that Ponder and is banking on that Sauron's Ransoms, it could be really disgusting how good that is.
Oh.
Somebody else's?
Super's final list. Okay. Oh, perfect. Thanks. So the
So it looks like he kept that and took the Sauron's Ransom. We were distracted with our head judge giving one of the deck lists for the finals.
So I think
This could be pretty make or break for Russell, right? So Russell is going to go in on this Sauron's Ransom. I believe that's what he took. Yeah, he took the Ransom. So Russell's going to... This makes or break for Russell. He's going to go in on this Sauron's Ransom, and he really gives it to Daniel to figure out what you give me, right? So he is banking heavily on this.
So the question ends up no. I think we tap Crocus. Okay, that's fine. So I think I like the idea of there it is. Okay, so I am taking the pile that has Strix.
Well, you're gonna hide the Strix. I think I'm giving Snap Sauron.
So I'm taking, if you're not showing me Strix, I'm taking the hidden pile. Because I don't think Russell has anything else right now.
No, I'm with Daniel on how he's stacking this. I'm gonna go Ransom Fetch or Ransom Snapcaster and hide the Strix with the other one.
Ugh.
Yep,
Ugh.
exactly how I would have stacked it. And if I'm Russell, I'm gonna have to take the face down one too because you're really not in
Strix.
position.
It has to be
But
Strix.
look how Russell tapped. He can't play Strix.
Yeah, we had
to tap Caracas.
Yeah. So it's fine.
It's not fine.
I mean, we
Yeah,
were able
so
to
here
dodge
comes
one
a,
turn.
here comes a Ponder. It's a pretty big Ponder.
Oh, I think he was maybe.
And we see Troll. I don't know if I like that shuffle. But I guess we just want to get so far ahead with like a force. So maybe that is a pretty good shuffle. I was just kind of looking at the other cantrip. Dress down is
Oh my dear
humongous.
Oh my dear lord.
Humongous. So here it goes with the swords. Russell's gonna go to 15.
Oh, it's legendary! Holy smokes! That's why he didn't tap Crocus.
Oh, because he put it with the ring bearer.
Oh my god!
That was so good.
That's right. It's legendary.
That's pretty tight.
why. Oh my.
We
See?
missed that line.
This is really teaching us
That was pretty sweet.
about these mechanics.
So here comes the important part. If he keeps that surgical, what's in his grave?
So yeah, so if he tapped Caracas at that point, he plays the second Strix. The dress down that Daniel pulled ends up.
You dress down an instep.
Losing-
You don't dress down
Yeah, exactly.
in response to the Strix.
You
You do it
end
at
up-
instep so it doesn't have death touch.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that or when he goes to block? So
Correct.
Then we lose Strix. Murktide kills off one, and then we.
So it's
source
interesting that
the
Daniel
other.
said, with the way he's stacking this brainstorm, that he didn't find anything to surgical because he's not wanting to put back both fetches, unless he's playing around days. To me, it looks like he's gonna play that fetch to play around days with the dress down. By the way that he's stacked that. Nope. So he already played a land for turn. So that's okay. There we go. So he didn't play land for turn. So that's what Daniel's doing. Daniel has a dress down, and he's just trying to play around days. So he can just dress on an instep, draw the surgical, still surgical within the instep, move to turn, and draw the other card, which I think was another fetch. Or he's just going to fetch it away. One of the two things.
Yeah, I think we.
So he's going
we
to
don't
fire
want
this
him
off
drawing-
now.
we
So
don't
he's
want
firing
him
off the
drawing.
dress down now.
So Snapcaster.
What are we snapping for, though?
probably-
Snap Brainstorm?
Yeah, sure. Anything. Just getting in before dress down. I
Snap
think,
Fluster
the
is super good, but it doesn't hit dress down.
way. No, I still think unless we want to surgical something.
No, I think we want to... We have another Saren's Ransom in our hand, right?
Yeah, but
I didn't see the Spell Pierce. Is there a Spell Pierce in his yard? That is huge.
I
I
don't
did
think
not
so.
see the Spell Pierce.
I don't think so.
Also, I think Daniel might be playing for that too, because what he can do is surgical that if this resolves for what comes next.
I'll tell you what, these guys have just been mental gymnasts when it comes to these two decks. Just based off the fact that
It's just so crazy how
the
favored
play is
Russell
different.
felt game 1. He was just on that Samwise Wasteland route where he had it, and games 2 and 3, he's never seen it. So it's just it's kind of amazing how good that is in this matchup, and just when you
and
see
if
it, when you don't,
have
yeah,
it feels bad.
yeah, it kind of feels like being griefed on a mast for Reanimator.
So dress down's in play.
So here's the other Strix.
So he's playing it still. Also interesting.
Which is very interesting. Wants to double block so that he doesn't lose the game. In case he draws another form removal. So now if he swings a Murktide, he dies. Which he did have another form removal. He has another sword.
No, but the dress down. So you play dress down, you swing for lethal.
It's not lethal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Murktide loses.
Correct.
Oh my gosh.
So here comes the dress down. This is where
Wow.
Russell really has to decide when to snap Fluster that swords.
I think actually what he ends up doing now is he flashes in Containment Priest and blocks Regent at this point. And then keep your
Priest
sixes.
flies?
No. So in the face of dress down. So I think after dress down resolves, we actually play Containment Priest to block Regent to keep our Death Touchers
Okay.
up for next.
I dig
turn,
that.
for next turn.
I dig it. So here comes the card, which is... Oh my god. Oh, imagine. So, I'm still swinging with Murktide.
Definitely. Yeah. So we're chumping with Containment.
Yeah. The thing is, I think Daniel has this next turn with the Bowmaster
Oh,
Sword.
yeah. Oh no, it's so.
That's so brutal.
And we still have Ransom in hand.
This is before blocks. Okay. Doesn't want him to gain 2. So he's going to go that route. That is a good route. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, let it slide.
No, Daniel. It's got... Okay, don't do it. So don't play with dress down and play, please. Wait till the next turn.
No,
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So Russell's going to come to turn and draws Polluted Delta, which is not good.
So snap. So
Yeah, we're looking at like a snap Saren's Ransom or just wait to snap Fluster. But snap Fluster's
we
not
have to
good
see.
enough.
So we have to see what Daniel ends up having. You know, like that.
Snap Fluster's not good enough.
We can't. He has to actually. Man, it's amazing how important Swords to Plowshares is.
Just so you guys know, if we get a finals, if they don't swit, we're waiting on the winner of this, and they'll be facing David Fisher, who's on Maverick. And I'm pretty looking forward to the Maverick list.
Well, I don't know. I'm yawning right now, but the winner of this is going to be exhausted going into the finals if they do end up playing.
So be it.
This has been.
So be it. It's magic. You're exhausted because you're up early.
Yeah, it's all good.
So here comes the fetch for the the Underground Sea, putting us to 5. Now we're fetching to 4. I don't know what's going on unless we're just going to snap Saren's Ransom. But the snap Saren Ransom's pretty wicked because it tempts the ring again, which puts the ring on if it's blocked, then it destroys it. So even with what's going on with the dress down, if the Strix was to block, it's just dead if it's the ring bearer. If I'm Russell, I'm holding it until... Okay, he's firing it off now. I would have held it until we got to the point where we need a block.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel does get an extra card to draw, and he's got 2 mana that he would untap.
Yeah, I would have
so
waited because
maybe
Sarin's
see.
Ransom is an instant. I would have waited to fire off that Snapcaster Sarin's Ransom and kind of give him,
So the
hard
ransom
choices.
doesn't show really any answer to Murktide.
Nope.
Yep. Please take the Snapcaster Brainstorm. I'm sure Daniel is saying with work in hand. Wow. Nutty.
You have to put this on a Strix. And what feels bad about putting this on a Strix is knowing Daniel's going to ping that Strix with the Bowmaster.
Yeah.
That's super unfortunate. Russell taking out Force of Wills is really kind of starting to come back and bite him. He's been focused heavily on the Flusterstorm route, which isn't bad. It's a good route.
But
But
Murktide.
letting Murktide resolve after your swords are gone is just brutal. Daniel's just played this so cleanly. Russell's also played this super tight. I just don't think people understand what's right and wrong in these matchups because they're so new. All these new cards and new mechanics that Scott keeps bringing up, they're like, we don't know what's right or wrong. It just seems so new.
And sometimes counterintuitive. So, these tempting of the rings, playing Orc Masters, baiting Orc Masters makes you a different player. Like, it's just, it is really game changing.
Yeah, Bro Masters, that's right. Trademarked it at TCS Rockets
copyright.
first.
Sorry. Hey,
So here goes the Bro.
copyright in process. You watch your mouth.
We're gonna ping the Strix that has the counter on it because
I don't know, do we? So,
yes.
So we have Crocus up. Yeah, so we actually
let
hit
him Crocus it. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we end up with swords.
Another Bro
Oh
Master.
my gosh, Dan.
Can we have everything?
Dan. Hey.
Man, you just get everything. Absolutely everything.
Hey, go easy. Go easy on him.
Yikes.
Wow.
That is a huge shout out to Daniel on those top decks. Man, those were crazy.
But
he did have really good control of that game.
Yeah, exactly. So he knew that leaning on Murktide at that point and waiting
Was
on
crucial.
the surgical was just how a boa constrictor latches on its prey, and just knew that Russell could not get back from that.
That was such a good game to watch. I don't know what was more entertaining.
I don't know.
That
I'm
matchup
exhausted.
or
I'm
Daniel
exhausted.
or Daniel and the Bayern's
My
matchup.
brain hurts. You guys have given me a headache
Yeah,
with these games all day.
We've had some super good camera matchups. Like Colton on Hivemind versus Geo's Grixis was super fun to watch. Brian and Daniel was just before this was fun, and now Russell in this.
You guys are ridiculous. Good games, guys. Well played. And so looks like Daniel will be seeing Maverick in the finals. We'll see if they play.
Yeah, we will see you in just a second.
Hopefully.